أعوذ بالله من الشيطان اللعين الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Welcome to the community conversation. This is a Hujjat initiative. In these regular conversations with individuals, we will explore their struggle, achievements, courage and disappointment that shaped and guided their faith, family and community. Today we have with us a well-known member of our community who we see whenever we attend the functions at our Hujjat Centre in Stanmore. We see him making sure that the centre runs as well as it should. In a way, he's a reference point, a reference contact point for all of us. He is none other than Alhaj Syed Mohammed Naqvi, commonly referred to by his popular name Sayad Saheb, a title which is hugely honorific. Syed in Arabic means master and Saheb in Gujarati means sir. So we have honored him by addressing a master sir, Saheb. Syed Saheb means master sir. Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam wa rahmatullah.
Syed Mohammed Naqvi was born in village Dokoha Saadat in Jalandhar, India on 9th of February 1947. He was a child born during the tragic upheaval of partition that led to separation and creation of Pakistan. The family moved to Lahore in Pakistan, where Syed Mohammed Naqvi grew up, did his schooling and graduated from Punjab University in political science and economics. His thirst for education led him to do further study law at the same university. After qualifying, he joined a stockbroker firm and worked there till 1983. In the same year, he started partnership with his cousin and best friend to supply businesses in Libya from their office in Malta. And when this venture did not succeed as expected, he moved to London. He married in 1985 to Fajr, a daughter of Rashid Dala of Mwanza, and has two children, Anwar and Saadia. He has been a manager at our Hujjat Islamic Centre in Stanmore, I believe since 1990. So long time, Syed Saheb. Once again, welcome, Syed Saheb, to this Hujjat conversation, Hujjat community conversation. How are you?
Alhamdulillah, I'm fine.
You are well?
Alhamdulillah.
Okay. So you have been with us, with the Khoja community for since 1990. So we're talking about
35th year.
35th year.
And if you include overtime, it is 70 years.
I'm sure of that. In a way, your life over the past 35 years and even today has remained intertwined with the Khoja Shia Ishnashri community of London. And whilst a manager, your duties and services go beyond as services to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I do not want you to go into detail, but in few words, when I say few words, more than that, how has it been?
It is brilliant. I have tough times, I have easy times, but with the hindsight, if I'm given a chance again, I will still do it. It was enhanced my spirituality. It increased my confidence in myself as a human being. And it gives me pleasure when I see those kids whom I seen born, they grew up, they got married and now they're kids. I feel honestly I have achieved something. And
what interesting, very interesting. So you have seen generations become adult, and you can see in front of you how they have developed and moved on in life. That must have emotionally also been very up and down for you, seeing this getting married and then children, and sometimes even tragic things occur within the community, and you are seeing all these things.
Yeah, it is. I'm a very sensitive type of personality. I feel anybody else's happiness, share it, and their pain,
Mashallah.
I feel the same way as but so it is an upheaval emotionally for you to see all these sorts of things.
Yeah.
Then marriages, then breaking up of the marriages.
Yeah.
Sometime or so many occasions somebody rings, they want to talk.
Oh, really?
And phone rings, I say yes, this is happening, this is happening, this is happening. And my father-in-laws, they like this, my mother-in-laws like this, and they pray in the first saf and they do this and they do that and the blah blah. Excuse me. Actually, behind it is somebody wants to talk.
Yeah.
So you just give an ear. Keep on listening. Conversation goes on. It don't happen too often, but it happens. It goes on for 10, 15, 20 minutes. And after that, you suddenly feel the relaxation has come in, that thing has gone. And I usually listen and a bit of a here and there, encourage to do the things in the right way. And
so you are also a counselor in that sense.
Not counselor as such.
But at least you give a listening ear.
Yeah, the thing is, I feel I should do something. That leads me to this.
Yeah. So also for the knowledge of our audience, share with us what's your work day and night involve actually. I mean, it's interesting. You've been with us for such a long time.
Yeah.
It's good for people to know what actually.
When I started in 1990, I was virtually, we have 1.5 staff. A secretary used to come 9 o'clock and leave 1 o'clock. And those days, you remember, we were having a separation with Hadri and lots of meetings and committee meetings. Those things used to happen. I used to start in the morning, early 7 o'clock probably, or 8 o'clock, and it goes on till midnight and even later than that, because those meetings finish, then community members sit together and discuss and things like that. So I didn't have the time to reflect. Now, before I will give you the background.
Yeah.
As you have explained, when I came to London from Malta, so I was thinking of moving back to Pakistan. One of ulamas, his name was Marhum Amir Hussain Naqvi. He used to be
in Peterborough?
Who?
Amir Hussain Naqvi?
Yeah, he from East Africa. Then he was in Adara Jafriya as well.
Okay.
So he says, because I didn't want to get married, and that was the easiest way to settle here, because I was very well aware of it. My nasl will spoil, and I will be answerable for that. So then he explained, look, you are mistaken. There are people like you here as well. We are all of us not. So that he started the ball rolling. Eventually, I met Fizza. And when I was told by the matchmaker that the name is Fizza, I decided if anything is okay even, I will go for it. I decided on the name only, and I trust me. Why? Because she served Janabe Sayyidah Salamul Alaiha, and that was a greatest honor.
Oh.
And that blessing of that name would carry on. Anyway, it will become very long. We got married. At the marriage time, I start, look, if get married, I get rights and live here, and then something goes wrong. And I will not think of leaving it. Leaving it, reason being is, my father Marhum used to tell me that divorce is only given when in case of adultery. Otherwise, you have to live with it. So I decided, whatever happens, I will live with it. But I never, with this intention and attitude when I started it, it went well. Then we had our son in 1988. His
So
name is...
you met Fizza and
Decided-
you built a relationship of
decided
of your
immediately,
life.
didn't see her, met her once, and then after that, after the marriage,
Right.
didn't, and then, no, sorry, twice. Once I took her for buy the dresses and things like that. She and her sister came, and that's it. We got married. First son was born in 1988. In 89, he was 1 year old. We used to live at newly built flats near King's Cross in Islington. And he used to run in the corridors, and all the ladies and retired ladies, all the people who see, they used to love him because he was very lively. So he would say hello instead of saying salam. Good morning was more often than salam. We used to pray, he used to pray with us, everything. But I saw his character is going somewhere else. So I didn't have a choice. At that stage I was stuck. So I prayed to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, like, you give me an opportunity. I am Sayyid, I want my awlad to be on the right path. Give me an opportunity. I promise whatever I have done in life is that I will be on the right path now onwards. I will try my level best, being a human being. 1990, out of blue, Mohsen Bhai Dharamsi decided to resign. It was not thinkable even if you look at it, he will leave, because his heart was in Stanmore, and still it is. So he left, and one of the community members told me that there is a vacancy, you go there and talk in the mosque. I came, Marhoom Raza Kanji Tehranwala was the president. I met him. I saw him. He told me that you will have to live here, and I decided that I will have this job.
Oh.
And I promised Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that I will not leave it. You look after my awlad, my family, my generation. You look after it. I will not leave it till they tell me to go. Then I will go. So that way it started. So all those hard work and everything, it was not due to the community and anybody. It is due to my promise to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that I will not leave. So I didn't have the choice to leave. And till today I don't. But whenever I am told to go, I will go. That is no issue, without any fuss, without anything.
But you have regarded this as your duty now.
Duty now, because I promised. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given me given me what I wanted. My kids was reciting Quran, they were involved in du'as, they were serving Maulanas and everything. All the things which I could have seen even better than back home. It was being served. I can see it. Then I got the opportunity to go for Hajj. The kids grows up, both of them got the opportunity for Hajj. On my income or resources, it was not possible.
So this is really in a way a blessing from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
Yeah, it is. And I tell you, till today, if I look at it, I see it, I can feel it. I'm being looked after, because so many things which I can't mention tell me he makes the way for me. And it is an amazing journey. It is just...
We'll come to community life again. I want to now sort of go back to your childhood now. You were born at a time of great upheaval, partitioning. Can you remember your growing up at that time? How was it?
When we moved to Lahore, my father was a religious person. Back home in Jalandhar, all of us had our lands, we were farming, no need for any job or anything. Even education was the religious education, nothing more than that. Nobody was interested because life was easy. My father decided to study. He came to Lahore from the same Punjab University. He did his graduation.
So he also graduated?
He graduated in those days. He was one of the few graduates in our villages. What
degree did he have?
He had degree in, I think it was in Arabic and Islamic studies, Arabic now, or something else was Urdu literature, I don't remember that exactly because he passed away when I was 12 only. So, but whatever time I spent with him.
Was he an inspirational figure for you?
Much more than that. Somehow, he was very spiritual figure as well because he was involved with in those days, in our village, Maulana used to come from Lucknow, who used to know Zakir and nobody else, a proper Maulana. All the famous Maulana in those days, I mean this Nakkan Saheb, Azhar Zaidi or so many other big names, they came and recited in our village. Okay. And always it was a very educated type of alim used to come and they used to train. So he was very much involved, but he was the figure behind all these things. So when we came, somehow when I look back, I know, okay, he knew, okay, he doesn't have much time. So
that sense was there.
Said, yeah, somehow, now I can realize it.
Right.
He trained me. I'm talking about in 50s.
Yeah, 1950s.
Yeah. Very early 50s. Conservative society and everything. I could ask him any question, he will reply. He will never shove a question and never lie to me. I will do that now. So for me, when he says I will do this, was religiously acceptable because I know, okay, he will not lie. I will give you an example one day one of our aunties had a baby. And we say, hey, baby. Everybody was excited. And I asked my father, how babies are born? I was 5 years old. And he didn't shove the question. According to my intellect, he answered me.
Oh.
Even that question, how it comes in, how it comes out, naturally he used according to my intellect, but I knew it.
But he gave me the
make
you understand, yeah.
And the best thing he did was, and I think that is what has saved my soul till today, he embedded love of Ahl Bayt in me. He didn't ask me for namaz, he didn't ask me for roza or anything. That was natural flow. Na? Insisting was only on love of Ahl Bayt. So that is a yardstick for me now. And it was embedded, you won't, like today if somebody talks about Janab Sayyida Salamu Alaiha, what happened to her, I feel angry. And I feel genuinely angry. I feel like crying now because I can't do anything. I should have done so. So my character was built around that. And then at the age of, when I was 12 years, he passed away.
How emotionally were you affected?
Amazingly, I think probably my father's training or whatever it is, realistic.
You felt that this is part of life? Death is part of life?
No, I was too young to think like that. But I never felt bitter about it. Otherwise, usually it happens.
That, why my dad?
Why my dad has gone and everybody else has got it. No, this type of feelings never occurred to me.
And were you the elder sibling?
I'm the elders. I'm younger. One was very young. One was 1.5, 2.5, and 3.5. So virtually I took them to school, to nursery, then to school, then to college. And I lost my childhood. That was the only...
So you became really a father
figure. The mother is saying, traditionally in those days, ladies not used to go out.
That's right, yeah.
But as I told you, my father and mother, both of them, we have a very educative type of atmosphere. Both of them were educated in the sense my mom went to primary school only. Then in those days, you can't go out of village, so she didn't. But she knew Persian, she knew Urdu very well, and Arabic, Persian, Urdu, she knew very well. We used to have the poetry debates at home, young age. So now, my child training, one thing which I want to share with everybody, which will benefit the community. When I started understanding, which will probably 2.5 or 3, My mum used to buy the children magazines. 2-3 magazines used to come every week, and she will read the story for me.
She could read?
Yeah. No, she could read even Persian and Urdu as well.
She was also sort of educated.
She was intellectually, they were high level. As we used to discuss the literature and poetry at home, and I was involved in that.
And also politics, maybe.
Politics as well. Politics, it was just this. Those days, politics was. But I developed this love for poetry, Urdu, Punjabi, from my parents.
Yeah.
So she kept on reading, and I somehow, I don't remember what action she took actually, how she encouraged it. They were burning inside me, I should read them. So much more before anybody else, because I was so eager to learn how to read.
How to read?
Read. So I was very receptive. So when they start teaching me, I was the first one in my age group probably who start reading. Then I start reading those books. Once from that one developed the culture, and I will cut it short because we're going further, that till I came in out of UK, I must read a book a day, a small book. And in the beginning it was fictions only. And then gradually when you grow, you turn around to, then it went to literature, poetry, Urdu poetry. And then Urdu poetry, I was very, very familiar with it. And I used to love it and understand the poetry, old poetry, 100 years old Urdu, which was totally different.
You still read poetry?
Now it stopped, and now unfortunately this computer and all those sorts of things, it has stopped altogether.
Do you think that reading as a habit that was developed at your early age really?
It can only develop at an early age.
Yeah.
I remember when I was year 2, I used to borrow the Urdu language book of year 5 to read it as a story, with English as well as Urdu.
What do you think? Nowadays people don't look at the books, they only have computers and phones now.
No.
That ability may go.
It has gone already. Yeah. It has gone already. I think the thing is the same thing. It depends on the parents.
Right.
If they want,
they can.
Like at the age of 5, 6, I used to read the newspaper, Urdu newspaper.
Oh, right. Okay.
Now, by the age of 7, 8, I used to understand the majlis, which was thick. Naturally, according to my capability and my intellect. And then my father used to encourage me, I used to go with him. By 10, I used to understand all the detailed majlis. And
that must have helped your knowledge build up as well.
That is it. And then the second thing he did was, he encouraged me to, now I can realize it, I didn't know at that stage, to analyze the thing. That happens, is a why question immediately comes up.
Can I ask you something? I have another question, but because it's a very interesting thing that you brought up. The majalises that you used to hear, those powerful scholars who used to come, compared to those majalises that you heard, the majalises that you hear here in our centers, compared, how do you see the difference?
Immense. Actually, it may become controversial, but I will have to say it. Those ulama, there was command on the language. You can easily see their knowledge of the Urdu language was at least PhD level or near it.
So they were well grounded.
And the same level was in Arabic and Persian. So that majlis was not easily acceptable as well, till you have got the knowledge of background of the language as well. Vast majority of people living in Lahore, where the mother language was not Urdu, they enjoy a bit and pieces, and they dilute it a bit as well. That's why all this ghaloo and everything has come into it. It was this, that those Zakirin couldn't convey the message. And they were good philosophers as well.
Right, right.
Very good philosophers. Nowadays, if I see, this is a controversial bit, but I have to say that our Zakirin today, whether it's in English or Urdu, they don't consider language an issue. And I feel that good command of the language only can give them the authority. One either Persian or Arabic and one English. Now you see Marhum Murtaza Bhai Lakha, his lecture was out of everywhere. Why? Because the command of the language.
Yes, he had a very high command of language. Yeah. Both English and Gujarati.
And Gujarati.
Yeah.
And Gujarati lecture was again the same.
Yes, yes, very high.
So that is the difference.
You're a Sayyid from the family of which Imam?
Imam Ali Naqvi.
Naqvi, yeah. So share with us your ancestors. How, from where did they come and how they settled in India, and what were the local rulers like when they came? And perhaps you can share with our audience that ancestry that you have.
Yeah, actually my ancestor was Khairuddin Tirmizi, because all the Sadat, when they were persecuted, they came in here. All these Sufis, ulama you see, basically all the Sadat was Shia, who were persecuted and they left that area. Over the time, that I will come to this as well, then it was diluted and they become Sunni or Nabi. Otherwise, in my personal belief, I don't have a proof for it.
No,
it's
this is
historical.
Historical
Evidence for that. Lekin that is a fact. He came in.
This is your
my ancestor.
Yeah.
He came from Tirmis, Bukhara, and from Bukhara.
The Bukhara is in
Iran. This
or Afghanistan?
Further up.
Further up.
It is Azerbaijan.
Azerbaijan.
I think Azerbaijan.
Bukhara, that's right. Yeah.
So Bukhara se either Bukhara to Tirmiz or Tirmiz to Bukhara, one way or another they came. He settled down. There was a nice river stream there. And
University.
River stream.
River, okay.
Small stream was there.
Yeah.
And he, according to that, he and his wife, both of them on their own, they settled down there, made some sort of things, but rather they were praying. A legend goes, which is very common in our, that our Dada was doing wuzu.
Right. And
Hindu children, they were disturbing, throwing things at him and blah blah blah. He tell them, "Ruk jao," stop, and they stopped. They froze. And when the kids didn't come in the evening, the parents came, and they were told, "They are here." And hey, what happened? Why they are still like this and that? And then Dada prayed and they become normal and they went, and that was his karamat which left.
Oh, right, okay.
I don't go in the detail how authentic it is.
But this is a legend.
A legend. But the thing is, fact is, all of them in that age, they sit down and they attract the people with their attraction.
But when they came to India, it was obviously not a Muslim place. But the people welcomed them, or people appreciate or accommodated them, and the rulers were friendly with them because they came from somewhere else. And
no, originally it was like this. They were neutral. Bit of suspicion, as it is always.
Was there, yeah.
But most of these people had some sort of spiritual powers as well, due to some type of marifat of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They were not big arif, but they have got something in them, which what you call highlight their character. By virtue of their characters, they were impressed. And then one way or another, they got involved. Like our Dada, the ruler of the time, offered his daughter in marriage. And with that, he gave a massive state as well to Dada. And he didn't do anything. He kept on doing it, and then naturally the family grows. That it became a village. It was called Dokoha because Koh means mile in Punjabi.
Koh means what?
Mile. Do mean two.
2
Dokoha,
miles.
it was 2 miles from the railway station of Jalandhar, Kent.
So the name became
Dokoha.
2 miles.
Saadat is because it was all the Saadat living there.
Right. So Dokoha Saadat. So it still exists?
No, now it is developed. The Koha name still exists. Dada's Bazaar still exists.
Okay.
Everything else is gone.
Right.
That area, naturally, cantonment expanded. It was Jalandhar cantonment station.
Yeah.
It was 2 miles.
Army. Yeah.
It has expanded there, but they haven't demolished the bazaar itself.
So the partition eventually, then you moved to Lahore. So what was life like in Lahore compared to Dokoha? You settled in Lahore, which was a city, I suppose, at that time.
We like our community from there, the Dokoha Saadat, they came in two, three places they went. In those days, what would happen was the Hindu left here. So migrated land was allotted temporarily to the Muhajirin who came from there. The bulk of our people went to a village near Gojra and they settled there. But that was temporary arrangement. Eventually, they said part of our whatever we left there, land and houses and everything, maybe 5-10% of that was given later on by government.
To back to your family.
But no, very late. But originally they struggled like, and my father, as I told you, he was, because he wanted to live in city, mulaqat with ulama, there was a news weekly Razakar used to come for Shia magazine. He used to work for, his editor was his friend. Both of them were friends in the college. He was Sunni, then he converted to Shia.
Okay.
And that was a very interesting story as well. So they used to, so he got a job in Pakistan Railways in Lahore. So that Monday to Friday he stays there, work there, and weekend he used to go back to home. And money was not an object, but that his activity was the object. But it turned out to be blessing. One of my mom's brother, my mama, he was class fellow of my dad. He went to army and he was a major. These two people,
This is in Pakistan Army.
Army, these two people managed to bring everybody back. Otherwise, woman was kidnapped, men were killed. There was so many atrocities happened there.
Dokoha. Yeah.
But our village, safely, barring 2 incidents, they came.
The whole of the village. Okay. So
and then they struggled a lot because those are not educated. You can't find a job. Very few people are educated. So it was very, very, very
But
traumatic.
you went to university, Punjab. Now, presumably, Dad being a graduate must have decided that you should also become. I mean, he passed away, but that would have been his wish that his son would also. But you went there and studied economics, political science, and then law. What was the reason why you went to study those subjects? Is it
politics and economics are effective? Actually, as I told you, I have got an analytic type of thinking. When I read a newspaper and all the magazines and things, I was a very, very heavy reader in that age. So I developed this Islamic economic system is the best.
Yeah.
So that inclined me to go to take economics, politics. I was always interested in politics, what is happening around me. So then I went for law.
Why law?
Protection of the rights. In those days, there was a big thing. It was not my.
So you actually completed law degree?
No, I dropped off from the last year because this job opportunity came. And that was once in a lifetime.
What opportunity came?
This stock
exchange, yeah.
So I decided, my mom decided, look, it is time you start working, earning, you will do your law and then you will practice it. Practice doesn't give that much money. You will get a name but no money. So you get a job. So that's your...
So you went to stock. Explain to me what stock, which is in Pakistan, stock exchange?
Pakistan. Stock exchange was in Karachi and we were in Lahore.
Oh, right, okay.
We were brokers.
And good money.
Brokers, good money, it is very interesting.
Relatively
good money, very good money for the owners and everybody, but it was not good money for my personally.
Oh, okay.
But the thing was, in those days, in stock exchange, only elite used to come. Senior professors, government bureaucracy officer, military, senior military and civil officers, all highly educated businessmen who were running their business. Intellectually, that atmosphere was so decent for me, so satisfying for me, that till today, few days back, I was talking to my cousin, and he said, we used to be so annoyed that you are not being paid at all, and you are so happy. Actually, that was the satisfaction of discussion and all those sorts of things which goes.
You got pleasure out of that. Right.
After that, then we decided to have a business, as you explained.
In Libya.
Libya, because Libya had the sanctions and they wanted stuff. So we placed ourselves in Malta, buy the things from London, Paris, Rome, and deliver them thereby. And it was a big money in it because they were very rich in those days. Although sanction was there, lots of money with them. But within few months only, our counterpart in Libya, he ran out of favor with the rulers and he was arrested. And we were tipped that don't try to go there anymore. You will be arrested straight away or nobody will remember you.
Yeah.
Then I came to...
So that was in 1985, I think.
84.
84, you came to London. This is the first time you came to London?
Yeah, I came.
What was your first experience of London then?
It is very funny. Till today I remember when I was landing at Heathrow, those houses and that gloomy type of late afternoon, and
was it winter?
It was very depressing.
Was it winter?
No, it is autumn.
Autumn.
Very depressing. First look was so depressing.
Yeah.
I think this is London. Then eventually we came.
The street is not paved with gold.
Then we decided. Then I was on my way back home. So there was few things back home. My mum didn't want me to come in the way that we traditionally marry within family. You don't have a choice on that. Elders decide and you marry. Match which was for me, my mum knew very well that was not suitable for me either or for her. So that reason she says you do something. She didn't say me, but anyway, then at that stage I was not ready to marry because I thought in this atmosphere, environment, what will happen? Then one of our late Maulanas, he told me, look, people like us does exist here as well. So you get married, you settle down, you are getting old. So that way I start seeing it, and then I met my wife. Her name was Fizza, and I decided to marry her.
And the rest is history now.
Rest is history now.
So I was going to sort of, you have already discussed it. I wanted to ask you how did you sort of come about becoming a manager at Kojashi Aishnashi, but you explained very well. So that I had in mind. But I want to ask you, how did our community, I know you enjoyed it and all that, but how did the community, what was there within the community that shaped you and your life? I know your children had the environment, Islamic, but what was that within that community? If I were to say to you, compared to other community, we have a Kojashi Aishnashi community, you're there for 35 years. What is the tangibility? What is there which distinguishes this community with others?
That was the organization and discipline.
What's that?
Organization and discipline. Managing skill, this governing skill, this community has got more than anybody else in the world. Today I can tell it. Not only among Shias, among Muslims. You can say that.
Why do you think that this community, I have written a book, 480 pages. I'm writing a second one. Why is it that this community has got that skill behind it? What do you think could be the reason? I mean, I have my own reasons, but I'm just wondering.
Mine is very materialistic, but I have got a very clear view about that. My analysis has given me the view.
Good. Let's share it.
Community moved from India to East Africa. In East Africa, like in Pakistan, it was same thing happened. Wherever British ruled, they created a buffer community between them and the indigenous locals. There is a buffer community.
Yeah.
So to this, whether it is Hindu or Muslim, or these people were buffering community.
Yeah.
As traditionally we feel very wrongly, the blacks, we always look down at them. Goras were superior than us. So we were in middle, we didn't have a choice but to stick together. Whether Hindu or Muslim or Sikh, they stick together. Or now because it is a struggle. You went into an area where 3-4 of you are there and rest of the villages. Because it was struggle. So sense of survival prevailed, we have to survive together. And that development of Masajid Imam Barga came from there. And to guard yourself, you have to be disciplined. That is my analysis. Very materialistic.
I would agree a part of it. Because I think it goes deeper than that. I don't want to share that. It's written in the history book anyway. But it's only part of it. But that's interesting. Now, over the years, 35 years, you've met great personalities of the community. One of them, obviously, is Mullah Saheb. The others are Zafar Abbas Saheb, who was also part of our community. And there are other personalities who have passed away, who have been pioneering, characters who are pioneering of the pioneers of the community. So perhaps you may have encountered some of them. You can relay some experiences.
Yes, and that is it changed my direction and my, what you call, spiritual level. I met Mullah Sahib, and in those days what was happening is every evening lots of ulama used to visit Stanmore.
Stanmore, yeah, to the Ibal Federation.
Yeah. I was living upstairs.
Yeah.
Though there was nobody around, so I used to ask, do you want tea or something? And some kebab and this and that. Naturally, I felt that these people are here, nobody's there. So I'm the only one.
Yeah.
So I used to go there. Mullah Sahib picked up, I am interested in knowledge. So then what happened is, even if nobody is there, even if nothing is needed, he will call me.
Oh, right.
Shah Sahib, chai piyenge? मैं कहा हाँ जी मैं लेके आता हूँ. I know he doesn't need that. He just wanted to call me in that way. We used to sit there, and then in Muharram, Safar, ulama, and Ramadan, if some used to stay with me, and whole the night we used to discuss till early hour of the morning. So it shaped me to gain some sort of marfat of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, how I should move forward. Naturally, as you grow older, you feel then you have to do something in life. That thing helped me a lot. That was the first thing. Maroom Mullah Fida Hasan Khaki was another person who used hard work of his, impressed me. In those days there was only Brookwood. So he used to come in the morning. It is a Thursday morning. He come in here. So whole the day he's there with the Mayyat, take the body to Brookwood, come back. Mullah Fidasan Khaki.
Mashallah.
And then at night there is a majlis. Yani practically he is there at 9 o'clock and he will go home 10 o'clock at night. He had strength. So he naturally, his commitment was solid, so much, solid commitment. Yeah. Then eventually Marhum Murza Ilaka, conversation or discussion with him. Yeah. Like my conversation, very short, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, as you have seen. It happens with you as well so many times.
Yeah.
It is very short, but it is very enlightening.
In depth sometimes.
It is very enlightening. And once Maulana Sawar Abbas said, ages ago, he said, look, we don't need anything in madrasa other than basic principle, Roza, Namaz, Hajj, Zakat, whatever it is, this is a basic structure, Ibadat. You teach them Wajbat and give them common sense to follow it. That's happened with me. My father just didn't give me anything, but I followed it because I was given the base. We try to teach them, and when they come home and they see we are not practicing what they are being taught. So it is boundary lines are drawn. You have got two-phase life. One is which is outside in school, college, uni. One is at home. Those two are not can't synchronize with each other.
They're not aligned
at all. Because that is, and then still we don't. Still time is there. And the second thing is, most of the training, culture, ikhlaq or religious training was done by the grandparents. We thought that because this is English language, English country, grandparents can't do it. We took away the children from the grandparent and put them in the different classes.
In what classes?
Different classes.
Oh, yeah.
This, the Quran class, this flank class, this flank class. And no, they can't train. We know. We know the system. And there was no two ways about it. They knew the system. But they missed the point. Okay, what is you follow? Looking at your role models, which is your Baap or your grandfather or your mother and grandmother, that totally missed out. Today, even when we look back, when I look back, because I've seen, this is the third generation I'm watching. All those kids who stayed with their parents or grandparents in the mosque and didn't go outside for the classes, their akhlaq stands out.
Really?
That is my personal observation. I will not take names, I will not mention anybody, but I know that for certain. I will give you example. Whenever, it is my habit, whenever somebody comes in, I try to stand up to welcome them, because this is like probably my father taught me. Once we were sitting in office on Thursday, I was 4 years old. Mullah Saheb came for Thursday and he stood up before me when Mullah Saheb entered. No, I haven't told him to do that. He followed it. Till today now, the other day I was asking, I don't know whether he stands up or not. Or Shahid Ali Khan said, Abu, he does, today he does. So that built-in thing, he doesn't know about it, but he does that. That we missed out.
Right. Okay. Interesting. Now, Syed Saheb, as you have grown older now, how old are you now?
I'm 77, alhamdulillah.
77, mashallah. So, life that you have lived, it must obviously gave you meaning and deeper meaning as you have become older. How do you see life now as you have become older? How has it changed the way you think, the way you see things?
Actually, it started with the company of Mullah Saheb and all ulama. But I developed this idea in my head that nearness to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the only way. And that is not achievable, but inch by inch, micromillimeter by micromillimeter. You can't do that. And then suddenly you do things silly, you come down. But in this process, you have to do the common sense only. When I developed a habit after a while, I can have a heated debate with anybody. He is wrong, I am right. Next morning when I come, I will not keep that yesterday in my head. Because my logic tells me this person was wrong yesterday, but not necessarily he is wrong today as well. So if I put a label stereotype on him, this person is not good, so I will not get anything out of that person again. I will not benefit and he will not benefit. If we tomorrow morning we come back and we say, hello, assalamu alaikum, how are you, this and that, some new thing will start. And this is core thing in our community as well, we don't forget. We judge people, we are not the judge of the people. Judgment is done by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We are dealing with the people and we should leave it for the dealing level only. We make a decision about people.
You know, Syed Bhai, is such a nice, profound message there, because, you know, Husn-e-Zan works like that. That you may be wrong today, but tomorrow you may not be wrong, because you may have learned that lesson. I may think still that you are wrong, but you may have gone through that exercise of I am wrong and I'm going to improve myself. This is what I haven't realized it, but the man has realized and moved on. And I'm still thinking that he is in the same position. So you can see how society can become very dogmatic, and the thing just remains there, and judgment just remains there, and we don't give benefit of the doubt to the person who may be actually improving. And we are still thinking that this man is of the same color.
No, more of them. When I have a disagreement, that was regarding how we will design this room. Tomorrow he is talking about religion. That subject, totally different subject. So now when we are talking about something else, I can't decide, because yesterday I didn't agree with him.
Yeah.
He's wrong.
So,
sorry.
So as you got older, your life became more meaningful, would you say? You started to reflect more on your life and say, well, have I missed anything that Allah has asked me to do, and have I missed it? Do you feel like that? Or?
I feel a lot like that, actually. But probably that is the way my life is built in, something to analyze the thing and to try to find a way. As I told you, we have to gain nearness to Allah. We do ziyarat, we do hajj, we do ibadat, we do everything to gain the nearness to Allah. So that nearness comes through the creature of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It doesn't come, I would not say that. Nearness you will get when you handle the creature of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, whether it is makhluk, any makhluk.
Yeah, any makhluk. Yeah.
So, and then he drops hints. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives you a chance.
Yeah, all the time.
All the time. He drops a hint. Sometimes you pick up, sometimes you don't. So I will just share the example because I want to share it so that everybody knows. We went for a holiday in Malta, in Turkey, on a resort where we were all inclusive, eating, drinking, everything. You go there, you want ice cream, you want coffee, you want tea, dinner, lunch, breakfast, everything. You are busy there, you go to walk here and there and come back and eat nothing, relax. And high quality restaurant, that resort it was. So once day after dinner, I told wife, come on, let's go out for a walk. We went out walking, and because that area was full with all resorts only, there was no restaurant or shops there because everything was available within the center. So suddenly, a stray dog started following us. My wife is very scared of dogs. She noticed it. We look at it, and I realized he was very hungry. The dog was hungry. He was just putting his head here and there and everywhere, want to find some food. And that was, and it suddenly clicked to me. That was Allah's rahmat or whatever it is you can call it. If on the day of judgment Allah says, I gave you so much there, and this creature of mine was hungry, you didn't do anything. I said, Fiza, come on, let's buy something for the dog. I was not well, asthma problem. I walked more than a kilometer. Looked everywhere, nothing happened. Then I start there. I said, let's call a cab. We give cab some money, go and bring some bread or some butter or bread or some donut or something to give it. Couldn't. We spent, I think, good 2 hours. And eventually my wife said, you are not well, let's go back now, please. You have done your bit. We came back. I didn't sleep well that night. I said, I've let myself down. And this will be answered. When I woke up in the morning prayers, then it clicked to me that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given me a message through the dog. Whatever you are getting here is my blessing, not your 300, 400, 500 pounds. If it was that you were there for 2 hours, you couldn't get a piece of bread.
No.
And suddenly I become relaxed and Alhamdulillah, you say. So this is the way you move. And there are so many examples like this, small things. You look at it, you ponder it, and you suddenly come to some different. You read the translation of Quran. I'm not Arabic literate. You read every year in Ramadan, you start reading again, it will give you a different meaning.
Yeah, definitely.
So
every time you read, you will get a different meaning.
Or more you respond, more he respond. At this age, because I can see my cover is there. It is just a matter of time. Everybody's cover is there, but on law of average and everything, we have reached a stage where we can mentally prepare. We have to go now.
Yeah.
So if you keep that in front of you, what you are doing for that, things will change.
So now, last question, then we'll finish because I think it's already hour. It went so quickly.
It flies, time flies.
Now that you've worked for 35 years, well, not worked, but you have, with the community, you have served for 35 years, and you have any sort of, very briefly, candidly, any advice that you want to give to the leadership of the community and the community itself? If you have anything to share, briefly.
Yeah, I would like to. Actually, the basic principle is, which we all know about it. I don't have to educate anybody.
Right.
Authority lies with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
Authority.
Authority lies with Him.
Right.
We are given the opportunity. That opportunity, I can, if at work, I can build a big house, buy a big car. In the mosque here, when your intention is very clear, that you are here to serve Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, so whenever you make a decision, please bring Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala into it. Look, this authority is not mine. This is His authority. I am making decision on His behalf, not on my personal decision. So your personal liking, your disliking will clear up. Your mind will much more clearer to make a decision, and inshallah we'll move forward.
I think it was a wonderful advice. Wonderful. So keep Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as the center of your life.
Yeah, I tell you one thing. I am naturally, human beings are not satisfied. We have done so much guna and istighfar is not enough for you probably. But by virtue of this, you bring everything. When my son was born, I make an intention, a niyyah, ki Ya Allah, you have told me to look after your son, that's why I'm doing it. With the niyat of qurbat. Same I did with the daughter. I'm doing this with the niyat of qurbat Allah Ta'ala, because this is your hukum. Now that I have to do it anyway. By virtue of bringing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala into it, it changes the complex altogether.
Mentally. Thank you, Syed Saheb, for sharing this amazing story of your life.
Thank
It's
you.
amazing, yeah. Born during the partition in India, growing up in that upheaval, father passing away at the age 12, and you had to look after your siblings and responsibilities. But you made it somehow, and
Alhamdulillah.
you educated yourself to such a high level, and yet the service of the community meant so much to you. And I think that says so much about you. And I think we are all appreciative
No, thank you.
of what you have
No,
gone
it is for
through.
myself actually, basically.
Fine, but I think we also learned a lot from what you have gone through. And hopefully this will provide insights in our own lives, as this experience have provided insights in your own life as well. And hopefully that can become a talking point for our audience who are listening to this conversation. So,
Thank
with
you very
these-
much.
With these thoughts, Syed Saheb, thank you very much. We bid farewell.
Inshallah.
Till next time to our audience as well. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless you all. Khuda Hafiz.